Yeah, me too.
I think, yeah, he's not greatest quarterback, but he's definitely not the worst. I think Sam's struggle is looking down the field for guys. Cam can run. That kid can run still. He can throw. I think they got a better shot with Cam, but we'll have to see.
Yeah, for sure. And yeah, I mean, because I was pretty excited when it said name Peter Walker. I went and told people to pick up Robbie Anderson again, because Sam Darnold was a whole problem for Robbie Anderson. That was just it. He just wasn't trying to connect, deep balls down the field. Yeah, Sam Darnold seeing
Darnold
ghosts.
just seeing a ghost. LOL.
Yeah, it's true. He's still seeing ghosts out there.
I thought it was only a MetLife thing. No, I'm kidding. Okay, so going into the other game that I had a problem with, and I'm not having as big of a problem. For me, even though I had this team to win, I did kind of expect this. I'm talking about the Denver and Philly game.
Mm-hmm.
I had Denver winning when I made my picks, but I also said that if Philly relied on their running back to have the carries instead of relying on Jalen Hurts to throw the deep ball, then I think that then I think the Eagles team are a better team than what people think. The problem with the Philadelphia Eagles that I have is that I think that Nick Sirianni took a little too long to realize that this should be a run-first offense.
Mm-hmm.
And that they should limit the number of passes that Jalen Hurts makes.
Mm-hmm.
My problem is not with the Philadelphia Eagles in this game. Obviously, they won. They won in a fair game.
Mm-hmm.
My problem is with the Teddy Bridgewater interception that has basically had everybody, he's been criticized. A lot of people have been talking about that. What happened was he threw an interception, and the guy that he threw an interception to, went down the field, and Bridgewater just stood there when it came toward him. I hated that. Even though I understand why he did that, I hated it because it would have been probably would have been a lot closer game.
Yeah, he gave up. He gave up on that. He gave up on that play for sure.
He 100% gave up on that play, even though I understand why. Because Teddy has been injury, had his injuries as well, as we talked about Cam earlier.
Yeah.
So that's something I've been going back and forth on. I didn't like that as a Broncos fan. I did not like it. But after knowing a little bit about his career, and after watching Friday Night Lights, because the starting quarterback in Friday Night Lights, the first episode, Jason Street, he got paralyzed for tackling as a quarterback. So, I mean, I can understand his decision, but I can't. I don't agree with it.
So if you understand, I don't agree with that. It brings it back to the Cam Newton playing the Super Bowl when he didn't dive on the football when he had a chance to.
Mm-hmm.
You kind of lose respect as a football player when you don't do that kind of stuff. My biggest thing with the Denver Broncos is the love for Melvin Gordon. They should have traded him at the trade deadline. You got to run it back like Javonte Williams, just give him the ball and let him go. He looks like he's the better running back. Go with the youth.
I thought
Also,
I
I
thought
think
this
this is
game was
go.
going to be very heavy on both teams for the running
Yeah,
game.
yeah. And also, I think the Broncos should just go with Drew Lock. See what you have in them. You know, you're not going to make the playoffs. You already traded away Von Miller. I don't think they're making the playoffs in the NFC and the AFC. I don't see them making it. If you can't beat the Eagles are one of the worst teams in the NFC. You can't beat the Eagles at home. You know, I think it's time to shut down Teddy Bridgewater, see what you have in Drew Lock. Know if you need to draft a quarterback this year in this coming draft, which this coming draft the quarterback class is not that great, but you need to see what you have. You got a lot of young players: Noah Fant, Jerry Jeudy, Corey Sutton, Tim Patrick. You got a lot of young players on this team. You know, just play the youth and see what happens.
I think that we might have a chance at winning games that aren't very good on the run that we have left on our schedule. I'm not saying that we are, but I'm saying that I still think that there's a shot. Chargers, yeah, no. I mean, maybe I can understand that. We traded away Vaughn, um, but but with this game, um, Jonathan Cooper had 4 tackles and assist, so he didn't have a sack, but he didn't have a sack in this game, but he was the only person to have 2 sacks in the game against the Cowboys. So I know it's only a little bit of film to go off of, but I kind of I don't like it as a fan, but I like it as an analyst. I do think that trading Vaughn with the pieces that we got would have been better for us long term.
Okay, yeah, I can agree with that. Plus, you're playing the salary, you get the second and the 3rd pick. So
now going back to what I was saying about the run game, we do not do well against teams that have a very solid run game. The Chargers, my only problem with them is with their running game is that they don't have a guy that can get 2-3 yards if you need it. I mean, he can give you like 30, but he can't be that third down back that just enough to get you that first down. It's going to be a very big problem in the red zone. I think that I can see a split when we play the Chargers. We have the Chiefs coming up. Their running game is very questionable. One of the weakest things on that roster, outside of their defense. We have a game against the Cincinnati Bengals. Joe Mixon, that's definitely a loss. The Lions, that's no offense, but I think that's going to be a win.
don't be surprised if that's one of the games I circled for the Lions to win.
But I don't think it's going to happen.
I don't see it. The Patriots, Chiefs, Bills, Bengals, Ravens. Who else? Who am I forgetting? Oh, wait. Let me do Patriots, Chiefs, Bengals, Bills, Ravens, Chargers. There's one more team that can make the playoffs. Did I name all the divisions? North, South, East. Yeah. I don't see the Chargers, or I don't see the Broncos making it. I think. Go ahead.
And if they do make it, they're going to be one and done. It's going to be a wild card. They're out.
Yeah,
I do make it somehow.
Titans, Bills, Ravens, Chiefs,
Titans.
Patriots.
Sorry, Titans. I'm not forgetting some Titans.
And then I would go with. I know this might be a long shot, but I have the Colts.
Yes, this is further my case. I don't see the Broncos making it. That's why I'm telling you they should just play the youth right now.
No.
While you still can. I don't see them making it in the playoffs.
But anyway, going back to doing some of the recaps, let's talk about the Chiefs game. The other team in the AFC West, the Chiefs. I felt like very similar to the whole Cam Newton thing that I've been seeing all over on social media. I felt like people were overhyping the Chiefs win. I mean, okay, yes, they blew them out. I understand that. But they have beaten a team that's had a lot of drama. They lost their coach. I mean, they lost their number one wide receiver. They lost the cornerback that they have. They have lost a couple of pieces, and this is a completely different Raiders team than the beginning. The Chiefs, who they have beaten in the past, I don't see any team that the Chiefs have beaten in the past other than maybe the Browns, and that's a maybe, make the playoffs. I don't see any of them. I mean, you have the Eagles. You have... Okay, they have beaten the Packers. Take that back. They have beaten the Packers, but Packers didn't have Aaron Rodgers. They had Jordan Love.
Yeah.
They have made some of their easy wins. They have had some of their wins against easy opponents, but even the games that are been struggling to get some wins, they have a losing record. Even some of those teams like the Giants, that should have been an easy win, they only beat the Giants by like 3 points.
Yeah.
Now you're talking about a team that does not have a high-powered offense. There's only two guys on that offense that I trust, and that's Derek Carr and Darren Waller. Everybody else, forget it. The Raiders have been an overrated second-half team. Well, okay, they've been an overrated team from the beginning. Gus Bradley, I have an issue with him. There has always been a problem with him. I get it. He was the person that, was in charge of Saxonville and the Legion of Doom for Seattle. I get that. But so what has he done since then? He goes to the Chargers, and Chargers have been a choke job. Now he goes on to a Raiders team, and this happens.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, do I think the Chiefs are back? No, not really. But I think that's just that's a game that if I play the Chiefs next, that's a game I didn't want to play the Chiefs after. Like, you don't want to play the Chiefs after their confidence is high. Because a lot of those guys, Travis Kelce and Tyreek Hill, how they handle adversity. They haven't had a lot of adversity since they went to the AFC Championship game the first time 3 years ago. So that's the first time in a while you see Mahomes just having 10 interceptions in 10 games. It's never happened in a long time.
Yeah,
so I think you don't want to play them after their confidence is up.
I think every AFC West team that is playing next week, because Denver has a bye, I think every single AFC West team is going to take it now.
Who the Chiefs play this next week?
Dallas.
I think the Chiefs can beat Dallas.
With that high-powered offense, I don't think so.
Dallas high-powered offense?
It's going to be a high-scoring game. I expect the loser to score like 38 points.
I would take the over in that game for sure. People expect that to be the highest scoring game of the year.
That loser is going to be the Chiefs.
I don't think so. I think Chiefs gets it done. Who's at home? I have to look. I haven't looked at it yet.
I think Dallas, but I'm not sure. No, it's Chiefs.
Yeah, so give me the Chiefs. Dale's about to say something.
I was going to say it's the Chiefs, but I think I'm going to go with Dallas.
Let's see what Vegas is saying right now. I'll pull it up for you guys.
No, the Chargers, they play the Steelers. I think that the Steelers have been a team that have beaten the team. I would say they have. I feel like they were the Cardinals of last year. They've beaten the teams that they were supposed to lose to. But then, we had another Steelers tied against an 0-8 Detroit team who hasn't been able to get anything going. Now, Aaron, since you are a Lions fan,
Unfortunately,
what? Go ahead and talk a little bit about that game.
all right. So on my fantasy podcast, we do a betting show, and I told people T.J. Hawkinson over 4.5 catches, lock it in, easy lock. And then I don't watch traditional football on Sunday. Like, I don't watch just one game. I watch the Red Zone or I watch Sunday Ticket. But most of the time, I'm watching the Red Zone. So I'm watching Red Zone, doing my thing. It's the second half. It's about to start with the second half. I turn it over to the Lions game. Look at the stats on my phone. I see Jared Goff has 25 passing yards at halftime. What the hell is going on here? Then I turn the game on. I see it's raining. Yada yada. So pretty much, Dan Campbell was playing not to lose. Mike Tomlin, believe it or not, was playing not to lose. Very shockingly, playing not to. They're pretty much both teams look like they were playing for a tie. I don't understand it. It's NFL. You gotta be aggressive. I don't understand it. And Dan Campbell's been pretty aggressive all year, going for it on fourth down in his own territory when it doesn't make sense. Not kicking field goals when you're only down by 7 points doesn't make any sense. Yeah, man. There's not much in this game to really talk about other than Jared Goff is a terrible quarterback with smaller hands than me, and I'm 5'9". And the Lions are stuck because I don't want them to draft a quarterback in this draft because the quarterbacks in this draft are terrible. I'll have my first mock draft coming out later, and just two quarterbacks in this class are terrible. So pretty much I'm looking for a future, man. Just hoping that Rams keep losing so we can get a higher second number 1 draft pick. That's all I fucking care about.
Dell, what are your thoughts on that?
On Lions and Steelers game?
Yeah.
I think Steelers are in rebuilding stage. I think that's where they're at. I think they got to get rid of Big Ben. He's done. He's old, washed up. Get him out while he can still walk. And I think Steelers need to go for a quarterback, somebody that they can bring up young.
Big Ben like yesterday.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
Go ahead.
I'm a big, I'm not going to report too much into it, especially at the beginning. But I can honestly say that my favorite thing about the NFL, about the NBA, about sports that I like to study about the most would be the playoff picture. I look into some of the bigger, dug down in the middle, deep outcomes, even for teams that have only 1 or 2 wins or had no wins at all by the time week 9, week 10 rolls around. See what the elimination cases are and all that. I'm not going to do as much as reporting on that as I did last year. Last year people were annoyed about, the New York Jets having like 7 elimination cases that they can get out of the first round by. Yeah. Anyway, what I will say is, though, that was, even though Detroit had something like that going on this week, let's just say that. And because of that, I was focused more on the Detroit Lions and Pittsburgh Steelers game than I was on every other game on the 12 o'clock slate. And I didn't expect a tie. As a matter of fact, I wrote down in my notes that the Detroit Lions can get out of the first round, they would get eliminated from the first round bye if they win. If they lose, and the Packers, Cardinals, or Rams take a W. I didn't count for all the other 8 elimination cases that are possible because I didn't expect a tie. A tie rarely happens in the NFL.
Yeah, was there a tie last year? I don't remember.
Yes, there was. Eagles and Bengals.
That's what I thought. It was a tie last year. Yeah, I thought so. I couldn't remember. Yeah. No, the Lions are just playing for number 1 pick. Want to make sure they get Kevon Thibodeau. That's all it is. Make sure you get Thibodeau.
Yeah. I'll go into my hot take a little bit later, but I do have a hot take about the draft that I will get into.
Love to hear it.
I'll talk about it when we finish. Okay. That'll be the last topic.
All right.
With that being said, let's go in and talk about next week and talk about the NFL picks for week
11.
Week 11, yeah. Start things off. The Patriots play the Falcons. Falcons are the home team. And let me just say this is going to be one of the very rare football games this season where the winner, New England Patriots, beats them by 5 touchdowns.
You think it's going to win by 5 touchdowns?
I'm going to go 42-7.
It's very rare that a team gets blown out back-to-back weeks.
True, yes. And it's very rare this season that it's happened on a Thursday night.
Thursday night unders. So this game is going to under. It's going to be a low-scoring game. I believe a lot of games this year in the Thursday night have went under. I have to look at the numbers. I think it's at least 65% of them. So I'll be betting the under. I don't think there's been a lot of points scored in this game. So that's why I was shocked when you were 5 touchdowns. It might even be 5 touchdowns total. But what really quick was really funny is that in that Atlanta-Dallas game last week or week 10, Dallas scored 41 points, right? The under 43. I think the under total was 51.5. So if you told me that one team had scored 43 points and the under was still hit, insane. That's just insane. Insane.
Dell, what is your pick on that?
I think it's going to be close. I think it's going to come down to a field goal.
It depends how healthy Cordarrelle Patterson is. I think the Patriots will win by more than a touchdown. So I call them to win by 8.
All right. Next up, you have the Ravens, Baltimore Ravens. They play the Chicago Bears. Chicago's the home team. With this one, you look at the Baltimore Ravens, and they are coming off of a bad loss to Miami. And the bad loss is probably an understatement. With that being said, Chicago Bears, their defense has not been great as the previous years, but it's still been okay. I've still taken the Ravens, but I think it's going to be a close game. Give me 31 Ravens, 21 Bears.
Yeah, Vegas has this game as 6.5 point favorites for the Ravens. But I'll actually take this game to be close. So you give me the Bears. I think the Bears keep it close, but the Ravens still win. So give me the Bears to not lose by more than 7 points.
Dale?
Well, as a Packers fan, of course I want the Bears to lose. But, but I think the Ravens are going to win by 14.
Next up is the Green Bay Packers versus the Minnesota Vikings. Minnesota's the home field team. Dalvin Cook I don't think he is playing because of his little case that's been going on right now.
He'll be playing.
Okay, if he is, you're going up against Green Bay, who, in the past, their defense has not been great on the run. So I am taking an upset here. I am going to go 24 Minnesota Vikings, but all three of those touchdowns are going to go on the run. Dalvin Cook is going to have a heck of a game. We go 24 Vikings, 21 Packers.
So right now, a lot of people in Vegas are on the Packers. Packers are taking 35% of the bets, 81% of the money. That's a lot of money on the Packers.
Just one thing real quick. I was spot on the upset for the Vikings over the Chargers. I was spot on that.
Well, see, I like the Vikings because they're at home. They're at home. I like taking with the spread's only 2.5, so I like taking the Vikings to win because I feel like I'd never take a 2.5 for an underdog. I'll take a 2.5 for a favorite, but not for an underdog. So give me the Vikings to upset the Packers by 3 points by field goal.
Vikings with the upset. Vikings by 5. Dale, is there going to be a clean sweep here?
I don't know. I think there's definitely going to be blood on the field. I think both are going to have it out for each other. But I think Packers are going to win by 21.
Ooh.
Oh man,
no, definitely not a clean sweep.
I didn't think so.
Anyway, the next game right here is the Buffalo Bills. They play the Indianapolis Colts. Bills are the home team, and their defense has been on fire. You're going up against Carson Wentz, and the Colts ever since Peyton Manning left has been a great second half team, but a terrible first half. We're going into week 11. And it's still early in the second half, but it's second half right now. I think that this game is going to go into overtime. I still take the Bills though, 34-31.
Yeah, I think the Bills will win.
Dale?
Yeah, I think the Bills are going to win, but I don't think it's going to. I think it's going to be by a field goal.
I have overtime field goal.
Overtime field goal? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Next up, we have the Detroit Lions and the Cleveland Browns. Cleveland Browns probably upset over the loss last week. Detroit Lions. I saw a joke about them earlier today because they had the bye and then they had the tie. They are actually undefeated in November.
Yeah, undefeated. Yep.
Yeah. I don't think that's going to continue. Not against this Cleveland Browns team. I don't think the score is going to be very high, though.
Give me the Lions in upset.
Ooh.
Yeah. Lions in the upset. I don't think Baker Mayfield is healthy enough to really take advantage of how bad the Lions are.
I was going to go 17 Browns, Lions 14.
Just take the under in this game because the Lions defense sometimes surprises you and they shut people down. Mm-hmm. They only had really 2 games where they allowed a lot of points. But I think they can keep it close, and I think the Lions end up winning this game.
Dell?
I think the Lions are going to get their first win. It's going to be set. They're going to win by 7.
Wow.
Ooh. So the next game after that, is the Washington football team against the Carolina Panthers. This game is going to be awesome. I will say that because Cam is, facing against Ron Rivera. Ron Rivera facing against his former team. This is going to be the first time where we actually see them head to head. Unless if the Patriots played Washington last year, but I don't think so. I don't think New England played Washington, did they?
New England?
Yeah, last year.
No, don't think so. I can't remember.
Yeah,
Last year was a blur.
This is the first time they actually are going to go up against each other. I don't think the momentum is going to continue for the Washington football team after their upset over Tampa last week, which I don't think we talked much about that, actually.
Now we did. We talked about it, yeah.
Oh, yeah, we did. Yes, we did. But with that being said, I got to take Carolina in this one. I feel like last 2 years, he's played, 2 games? 2, maybe 3? And I think his record is 2-1, if I'm not mistaken. Teddy Bridgewater was out for 2 weeks. And Bridgewater, I'm blanking on the name of the quarterback. I just mentioned PJ Walker.
Mm-hmm.
They completely swept the Lions 21-0. Going into this year, they go on and upset the Arizona Cardinals. Now you go in. This is a little bit of a harder team, except on defense a little bit for Arizona. I think that this, even though it's much more of it's a different competition, I'm still taking the Panthers because if they go ahead and start PJ Walker. If they take Cam, I think it's going to be a closer game, but not by much.
Yeah, I think the Panthers win just because they're a better team. They're a better team, more complete team. Washington's gonna be out without Chase Young, so that's gonna hurt them.
Oh yeah, definitely. I think the Panthers, if I have to give a score, I'll go 27-26 with Cam as the starter, and without, I would go 30-24. So I have 2 different scores on that, depending on who they're going to start at quarterback. Dale?
I think Washington's winning it by 3.
Okay.
If you can beat Tom Brady, you can beat anyone. I'll say that much.
Not true.
They were close to beating Tom Brady last year, and they weren't able to beat Teddy Bridgewater. So I'm just saying.
Hey, the Lions beat Tom Brady in 2019. Just saying.
So, next up is the Texans and the Titans. Titans are the home team. Nothing much to be said. 42. I'm going to be nice. This is just generous. 42-21. Titans win.
I don't see the Titans scoring 42 points, but I see them winning 28-7.
Okay, I get that. The defense, I get that statement. But, Dell, what are your thoughts? Titans by 27.
Titans are definitely winning. They're winning at least by 30. The Titans are hot.
Mm-hmm.
The Texans are no.
AJ Brown's going to get a lot of carries on this game
if he plays.
That's true. Going into the next matchup, you have the San Francisco 49ers who just pull it off a win. But they aren't the home team this time. But it doesn't really matter because they're playing Jacksonville Jaguars.
Give me Jacksonville. I'm going to jump the line. Jacksonville in the upset. Jacksonville in the upset. Yeah.
I mean, the one thing I will say is that the Jaguars are going to I do think Trevor Lawrence has improved game by game. I will say that.
Yeah.
But
no, I agree.
Come out here and wow.
Well, yeah,
I don't expect that.
Yeah, Jacksonville at home. It's always hard for a West Coast team to travel from the West Coast to the East. And it's going to be hot weather. Jacksonville
only reason I think they're going to keep this within a couple of touchdowns.
Yeah, I see them winning the game. I don't think 49ers are that good. Jacksonville's going to win this game. And I saw a comment about Adrian Peterson. I don't think Adrian Peterson will ever rush for 100 yards again in his career. I think that's past him. I think
I agree with you on that.
Donta Foreman is going to have more carries than Adrian Peterson every game going forward.
I'm going with 49ers. I'll go 49ers 27, Jaguars 20. I said keeping winning a couple, but that's actually just one touchdown. But
I got you.
With that being said, Del, what are your thoughts?
I don't know. It's hard to. I think Jaguars are going to win by at least 6.
Okay. He agrees with me. See, Jaguars, baby.
Wow, that's 2-1 in a direction I didn't expect. Next up is the Dolphins and the New York Jets. I don't know at this point if you would consider this an upset, but I actually have the Jets winning this game. Jets are the home team. You're going up against from the south. South is going up to the north. I know it's not as different compared to east to west. I mean, west to east, east to west, but it's still a lot of distance to travel.
It's the weather. I would say if
the weather's completely, the weather, that's true too.
I would say if Jacoby Brissett starts for the Dolphins, give me the Jets. But Tua starts for the Dolphins, give me the Dolphins.
I'm gonna give the Jets to win 25-24. I think it's gonna be a 1-point game. Dale?
I think the Jets are winning. Like it's gonna be colder.
Mm-hmm.
I think snow might play a factor. I'm not sure if it's going to be snowing, but I don't see Dolphins winning in the cold. Even the colder climate, even if it doesn't snow, it's gonna be harder for them to win because they're used to warm, partying on a beach, not used to bundling up in 7 layers of clothes.
The one thing I will say is though. No, actually, I take that back. I take that back. I was thinking that the game was in reverse, but I was thinking that they were playing for Baltimore, but they actually played in Miami in the last game. So that's what I said. It doesn't really matter now. Next up, you have the Eagles, who are the home team. They play the New Orleans Saints. New Orleans Saints coming off of a close loss, exactly how I thought it was going to go, to the Tennessee Titans. The Philadelphia Eagles coming off of a big win. I can see the Eagles just running all over New Orleans. New Orleans does have a very solid defense, one of the best out there in the NFL. I just feel like the offense is going to make a difference. Who do I trust more is the question.
Yeah.
Now that I'm saying that, I feel like Alvin Kamara might get more than Jordan Howard. So I'm going to change my pick. And I do think this is going to be heavy on one game, even though I thought the same thing was going to happen last week. For both teams. Give me the Saints. But the Saints by I think both teams are going to score 30.
Oh wow. I don't see that. I see this being a defensive struggle. The Saints defense is one of the best defenses in the league. So Nick Sirianni better think of a good game plan. But I see the Saints winning this game. Simeon's not a quarterback that's going to put up a lot of points, but he's also, the Saints are coming off 2 back-to-back just heart-wrenching losses that they should have won both games. So I think it's trying to paint a little bit more extra motivation on his team. Yeah, and I see them getting it done. So give me the Saints.
I 100% agree with John. I think it's going to be Saints, but I think it's going to be way closer than be playing.
Yeah, I think it'll be close, but I think the Saints cover, or no, the Saints win by at least
I'll go
more.
33-31 for me.
Yeah, I don't see 60 points. I see barely 40 points being scored in this game. I see it being like a 2017 game.
Dale?
I'm picking the Eagles. I think it's going to be close. I'm definitely not going to lie there. I think it's definitely going to be a nail biter. I think the Eagles are at least going to win by 8.
All right, up next you have the Cincinnati Bengals, who are coming off a 2-game losing streak, who are playing against the Las Vegas Raiders, who struggle at the second half. And for that reason, I am taking the Cincinnati Bengals to end their 2-game losing streak.
Yep, I agree with that.
I have the Bengals. The one problem I have with the Bengals is the coaching. I don't trust Zach Taylor. So, to quote a friend of mine, he says that good coaches know how to do 2 things. Now, I can't remember what the first one was, but the second one was win after bad losses. And Zach Taylor's just not that guy. Obviously, because the Jets game was a bad loss. But then you go out and lose 2 in a row. It's just you go out and lose 2 in a row, but you are coming off of a bye this week. This was, let's just say, an understatement. The Browns game was an embarrassment out there to Cincinnati Bengals fans. The Browns game was like the one difference coming from first to last. AFC West and North are very competitive right now. But if I had to pick a winner on this, I think the Bengals are going to end up winning, and I'm going to go 24-14.
Yeah, I see the Bengals winning. I don't see how they lose this game.
Dale?
Can I pick the referees?
Yeah, you can, sure.
Is that an option? Because I don't know. Both are. The Raiders I think are definitely struggling, after their off-field drama with Riggs and the other guy. And Bengals are in rebuilding stage. I don't see them. I don't know.
I don't know if I agree with that. I mean, they can use some help on their defense, but I don't know if I would say that they're on their rebuilding phase.
But I think the Raiders are going to win by 3, if anyone's going to win.
All right, next up, you have next up after that would be the Cowboys and the Chiefs. Now, we already gave our picks on that.
Yeah.
So we'll go ahead and skip that over. Next up is the Cardinals and the Seahawks. I think the Seahawks are going to take the W if Colt McCoy is the starting quarterback.
I think you see Kyler Murray. He couldn't play last week, but they want to save him.
If it is Kyler Murray, I'd definitely take Arizona.
Is this in Seattle or Arizona?
In Seattle.
Give me Seattle. Seattle win this game.
I think Cardinals are winning it. I think it's like for the Packers game, there's going to be blood on the field. It's just who can hit harder. I think Cardinals are going to bounce back. I think it's going to be a close game. I think they're going to win by at least 3.
I have the Cardinals by 9.
All right.
Kyler Murray is the starting quarterback. If not, I have Seattle by a touchdown.
Yeah, Kyler Murray is going to start. So is Hopkins. They could have played last week if they wanted to, but they wanted to keep him out one more game for this game. But that's for that reason, I think the Seahawks will win. That's motivation for them alone.
All right, next up is the Pittsburgh Steelers. They played the Los Angeles Chargers. Chargers are the home team. I am taking the Steelers in this game. The Chargers had been on a 2-game losing streak. Steelers coming off of a tie, but I feel like what's more embarrassing, losing to the Vikings or tying the Lions? I feel like both teams do feel bad after what happened to them last week, but I feel like Steelers are more embarrassed.
Yeah, but I see the Chargers winning the game. They're a better team. I think Staley figures it out. It helps the Chargers get over their so what I'm looking for. Their historic downfall, that teams like them and the Lions seem to not be able to get over the hump. So they have the better team, so that should come across with a win.
Yeah.
I agree. I think Chargers are gonna win. I think they're definitely better than the Steelers, at least right now. They'll win at least by 7.
I have the Steelers by 3. I'll go 30-27.
You love these 30-point games.
But speaking of a game that's not, I don't think is going to be 30 points. The Giants and the Buccaneers. With all the injuries going on, the Bucs did lose last week. I could see this being a bounce back game, but at the same time, I'm not. This is one game that I feel like I've been going back and forth on. But that's because Tom Brady seems to struggle against the New York Giants. And I don't know what it is. Like last year, they beat the Giants barely. Every single game they played against every single game that Tom Brady has played against in this NFC East has either been a win by 1 score possession, which shouldn't have happened, or B, a loss. Obviously, they lost to Washington last week. I think the 1 score possession is going to happen. I'm going to give this one 25-22. Tampa wins this. Over.
Yeah, I think Tampa wins just because they can't look bad 3 weeks in a row. Right?
Tampa wins, but I think they're going to struggle. Really going to struggle.
Yeah, I think they'll struggle, but they can't. I don't think Tom Brady throws an interception this game.
Yeah. One thing I will say though is I feel like you take away Tom Brady from this team. Do you think what is Tampa really good at?
They can run the football. Honestly, they can. They have the offensive line.
I would say they're good at stopping the run.
Not last week.
Well, not last week, yes, but normally.
Yeah. What are they good at? What, throwing the ball deep? Probably. They did a lot with Jameis. They did a lot with Jameis when he was there.
That's true.
Same coach, same coordinator too.
How do you? That's what Sean Suggs says that they're. How do you figure they're 27th at rushing?
Because they can run the football when they want to. It's just that Tom Brady doesn't. He doesn't. They don't like to run the football.
Well, yeah, but
when they need to run the ball, they can run it.
they tried to run the ball in the Cowboys game, and it's not just the Cowboys game, but there's been a couple of times where Ronald Jones Jr. and all those, they would turn the ball over when they're running it. So I think it might have been a little bit of an adjustment thing, maybe, but I don't think they're really that great. I think they have improved because time has gone on and things like that. I just don't think they're great. Any final thoughts before we give us a close? We have hit the hour mark by 13 minutes.
We went over. It looks like, huh?
Aaron, do you have any final thoughts before this close?
Final thoughts, man. NFL is weird.
Yeah, it is.
You can kind of tell how if a team's like this game that we just saw. The Rams they're obviously they're a better team than the 49ers, but they're only giving up 2.5 points to 49ers. So that means so you just knew the 49ers were going to win this game. It just felt weird. Yeah. That's my final takeaway. Just enjoy it, man. NFL is weird. College football is weird. A lot of stuff, man.
Dell?
Yeah, it's a weird season. I think COVID is still affecting the guys. I think a lot of it's just, I don't know.
And as for me, ever since I kept track of the picks that I make, and I've been not betting, but I have been predicting outcomes since 2017. And since 2017, I have never, ever had a losing record until 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago, I was a few games off from having a tied record by 2 or 3. So even this last week, I finished the game. Yeah, I finished with 2 wrong. I predicted everything else correctly except for 2, and that was the Broncos and the Eagles, and Browns. Well, not Browns, Patriots, but Panthers, Cardinals. So, with that being said, this has been Nate the Great, Dell, and Aaron signing out. We'll see you guys next week.
Appreciate it for having me.
Whole sports all plays. Whole sports all plays. Whole sports all plays.